Driving can sometimes be an adventure. Now imagine instead of driving a 3,500-pound car, you're guiding a 65,000-pound fire truck down a busy road trying to get to an emergency as quickly and safely as possible. At the Spring Lake Park Blaine Mounds View Fire Department, they have a unique, high-tech way to train their officers for a variety of possible on-the-road scenarios.
The simulator we use to try to bring reality to our firefighters before putting them out in the real world. So they get to kind of run these scenarios before they actually come across them. They get to focus on what does it look like if a car comes out in front of you? What are you looking for? Are you keeping your head left and right before you actually end up out in that scenario? So it really prepares them mentally to drive before they have to come across those bad scenarios out in real life.
A decade ago, the department invested in a driving simulator, a training tool that no one else was using.
And our chief is a visionary. He's someone that looked outside the box a dozen years ago, before the station was even proposed. And at that point, we saw it as a great opportunity to get technology to be on the cutting edge. So it was proposed that we get the drive sim. No one in the metro area had even remotely had anything similar to it at that time.
Chad designs the scenarios using real-life experiences he has had during his fire career. And the firefighters never know what he is going to come up with when they sit down in the simulator.
I can make it icy, snowy, rainy, dark, sun glare. I can do all those different things to them. They can experience a routine call where they're just driving routine, and then all of a sudden a squad car goes flying by them and they have to remember to get off to the side of the road. Or they're going to be going emergency to a structure fire with other trucks coming in at the same time, and they're going to have to try to take that visual overload and that audio overload and kind of position themselves and think their way through it. So I can really throw a lot of different things at them.
The simulator doesn't replace on-the-road training, but is another tool for the officers and has benefits that transfer to real-world situations.
So if my issue is that I speed, tendency is that I'm speeding in the sim room. I'm really doing that out in the real world, and I can be identified and then help fix that.
The simulator really makes you mentally prepared for those things. I think the simulator really makes you focus on, am I paying attention to traffic? Am I paying attention to the road conditions? Am I paying attention to what that car right next to me is doing and that they're pulling out right now? And I think we've noticed that transition out into the physical world when some of our drivers made the statement to me that, hey, I was looking at that car. Every time I drive now, I look for that one little kid that's supposed to be running out from behind the school now. So again, I think mentally it really transfers over to the physical world.
New recruits have to show proficiency in both the simulator and on-the-road training before they are allowed to respond to actual fire calls. The simulator is also part of the ongoing training regimen for all firefighters.
For our firefighters, they have to do it twice a year. Twice a year they have to come in for their hour-long schedule. And then all of our chiefs, anybody that's in the chief rigs, that we call them, has to do it another 2 times a year. So we practice twice a year in the fire truck, twice a year in anybody that does Tahoe chief response vehicles.
It was now time for me to get behind the wheel in the simulator and see if I could safely get the fire truck to an emergency scene.
So this one's a response to a structure fire on the other end of town.
Okay.
The ladder truck is out responding first, so we're kind of simulating everyone paying attention to the first truck and not the second truck.
I felt fairly confident in my skills after the first go, but on the next scenario, Chad made the road icy and cars started darting out in front of the fire truck. It might have seemed like fun and games, but for the firefighters, the habits of other drivers on the road often make for stressful drives.
Today's drivers are very distracted. There's the occasional drunk or drowsies out there, but it's the distracted drivers, be it their music playing so loud that they don't hear the fire truck right behind them. God forbid they're looking at their text messages or on the phone. They're just not aware of their surroundings, and we have to be very conscious of that.
Don't panic. I think a lot of the times I see people, they don't know what to do, if they should speed up, slow down, step on the brakes, pull right, pull left. Just take that second or two. We're not going to try to push you out of the way, but we're going to give you that chance to think it through and take your opening and get to the right and pull over and get out of our way.
Overall, the simulator is a highly useful tool that helps protect the public and the firefighters.
Very proud in the fact that we get to have something that very, very few people have. I think when we explain it to outside firefighters, they kind of look at you, you have a what? A driving what? A simulator? What does that even look like, or what is that all about? So the fact that we have it, and the fact that mentally I think we're preparing ourselves, and I think we've seen that in as far as our accident rates for comparable departments, we're 2/3 lower as far as accident rates and things like that. I think it's truly reinforcing the fact that it is a valuable tool to have, and that we're very happy to have it, and that it's working really well for us.
For North Metro TV News, Ben Hale reporting.